All right, so as you guys may know, the Game Awards have revealed their contenders for Game of the Year, amongst a bunch of other things. And it seems that people are pretty satisfied or at least content with the contenders. Of course, we got Astrobot, some poker style game called Balatro. We got Metaphor Refantasio, Final Fantasy VII, Rebirth, Black Myth Wukong, and we also got Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree. Now, a lot of people were expecting that Dragon Age the Veilguard was going to sweep the Game Awards because of all of the media style pandering to that game. But we also saw them backtrack on that game. And a lot of people also thought that Black Myth Wukong was going to get snubbed. But neither one of those things happened. And so, for the most part, at the detriment of my channel being able to grift, there's not much drama surrounding the Game Awards. And so people are pretty satisfied with it. But the one thing that people have latched on to that I don't quite understand, and I believe that if Black Myth Wukong would have got snubbed or Dragon Age would have got nominated, this probably wouldn't be much of a topic, but it is. So we got to talk about it. People seem to be upset that Shadow of the Erdtree got nominated for Game of the Year. And I gotta be honest with you, I'm terribly confused. I'm really confused. So let's go ahead and get into it. I want to preface this by saying I have not played Shadow of the Erdtree. I just want to throw that out there. I replayed Elden Ring on PC, because for those of you who have been following me for quite some time, you know I was a console peasant for a while, and this year I kind of converted 100% to PC. So I rebought the game, played it again, enjoyed it again, and Jesus Christ, that game is amazing. I haven't played the DLC yet though. I will. I might even do that on my next playthrough or whatever the case may be. But anyway, so yes, Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree was nominated for Game of the Year, and there is an absolute meltdown going on around this. A lot of people keep saying that it's a DLC, it's not its own game, it shouldn't have been nominated. Whoop-de-woo, wop-de-wop, whatever. Let's get into some of the reactions that I'm seeing. Here's one tweet you're seeing from the Rhino account, Rhino the bouncer. He goes, "The Game Awards appears to have bent the rules this year. Site updated November 15th, according to Wayback Machine, to include Elden Ring Shadow of the Erdtree in the Game of the Year category nominees. When last year Cyberpunk 2077 Phantom Liberty was snubbed despite being superior in every way and transformative to the main game. I'm genuinely tired of From Software. Sounds like a you problem, my boy. They create the exact same game every few years on a dated engine, clunky animations, and inferior visuals, save for the art direction, and they are given their annual token and praise."
You mad. Look at you. You mad. You big man. I'm happy. Leave me alone.
Again, sounds like a you problem, my boy. Meanwhile, other studios grovel to create something unique and original and superior in every aspect, from gameplay to visuals to performance, and yet they are snubbed because they haven't been deemed cool enough to earn the exceptionalism. I would agree. I would disagree with that. I don't know an experience on the market that is that much better than Elden Ring visually and aesthetically and performance wise, at least from what I played. I don't know what it was like upon release on PC, but on PC for me, it's been nothing short of perfect for me. So I don't know what he's talking about. This isn't hatred on the games. I played in Platinum Elden Ring. That doesn't qualify you after you said what you said, and I liked it, but as Game of the Year winner and expansion, it has no place being considered a game when it cannot even be accessed as a standalone experience or even from the start of the game. Players are also not excused from this hypocrisy when every time a remake is talked about, it gets discredited as just another remake or just the same game, when it's actually a meticulously crafted ground up creation or a classic that can very much be considered a new game instead of an expansion or even a new game that basically copies the same formula of its predecessors. A lot of this seems like a whole lot of purist stuff to me. I don't have a problem with an expansion winning Game of the Year. I don't have a problem with a remake making or a remaster getting Game of the Year if it's the best game. I really don't understand this idea that an expansion or a DLC can't win Game of the Year. The way I look at Game of the Year is the same way I look at the most valuable player in any sport. It's the most valuable player or the most valuable game, okay? The most valuable experience, however you want to put it. In the game industry, if it is the best game and it provided a good enough content or enough content to be considered a game, it's a game. It's called Game of the Year, not new release of the year. Like I don't understand this. I was watching Endemion's video, and he was saying that he doesn't believe that an expansion or a DLC should be able to qualify for making Game of the Year because it's not a new game. But that doesn't make sense to me. If we're using the analogy of the best game equal to most valuable player or MVP, then that would be like saying only rookies could win MVP or only new games can win best game of the year. I mean, listen, let's go to this comment over here. This person says Shadow of the Erdtree is the best quality. Metaphor is probably probably my favorite, but Astrobot kind of slaps. This DLC debate is a bit bollocks. Though Shadow of the Erdtree is a 30 to 50 hour experience, which is longer and more filled than most AAAs, but whatever. I agree with that. I mean, they made a 30 to 50 hour experience that's more packed than a lot of games that released this year. Like, what are we even talking about? Like, if they made a better quality expansion than some people made new games, why shouldn't they qualify for Game of the Year? It's Game of the Year. It's a game, okay? People played it and enjoyed it, and it was one of the best quality experiences of the year. You're trying to put them in some arbitrary, everyone gets a trophy category where it's like best DLC of the year. No. Because let's agree that most of the DLC and expansions that drop from everybody else is some BS, okay? You're going to put my game where it belongs, okay? Game of the Year. It was a game that everybody played and enjoyed. Most of this competition. Now, I'm not saying that they should win. I'm not saying that. I haven't played it yet. Okay, I'm not saying that they should win, but if it's one of the best experiences of the year with a bunch of content. I'm talking about progressive content. I ain't talking about, oh, you were stuck on a boss for 10 hours and so now it's 50 hours. I'm talking about at your best, you're progressing through the game and it's going to take you at least 30 to 50 hours to finish this game. It is absolutely, positively a Game of the Year contender if it's that good. So I don't know what you guys are talking about. It has to be a new game. No, it doesn't. It's called Game of the Year, not new release of the year. Now, if you want to have a Rookie of the Year category and put all of the new games there, fine. I don't have a problem with Silent Hill being considered as a remake, being considered game. Why shouldn't Silent Hill be contending for Game of the Year if it was that good? Again, I haven't played it, but if it's that good, why wouldn't a remake? It's a game that was made from the ground up. If it's a remake, a remaster, we can have a debate about that. But if it's a remake, it was built from the ground up. It's a game. These developers, if they made a really good game, should be rewarded for their work. If Shadow of the Erdtree is a 30 or 50 hour experience that just whooped the competition, the developers deserve to be recognized for that. It's certainly better than Star Wars Outlaws. It's certainly better than Dustborn. It's certainly better than Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Are you telling me that those games would have a more qualifier to compete for Game of the Year than Shadow of the Erdtree? I don't understand that. I don't understand the concept of, it was a previous game and so that makes it unfair. Unfair in what way? You had the same amount of time to create your game as we did to make our game. Just because we made our game better and we was able to deliver more content, it was essentially a sequel. It's not fair? In what way? Now, I am open to compromise, right? I am open to the idea that certain games, DLC and expansions should not qualify for it. For example, I don't think live service games, should be competing, right, for Game of the Year. I don't believe that at all. I believe that games like Destiny, Diablo, Fortnite, no. Any game where you have the amount of time that you spend on the expansion DLC it would be grindy or live multiplayer stuff. No. I think it should be reserved for a game that, and also it's games that fix themselves should not be considered for Game of the Year at all. Like if you released a game that was slop when it came out and then you released an expansion that made the game that much better, you absolutely should not be able to compete for Game of the Year because your game was trash when it came out. You just used extra time to fix it. So this idea that, Cyberpunk 2077 should have won, no, because that game was pure garbage when it came out. And then they decided to fix it later and came out with that expansion. Good on them for doing so. Maybe you could give them a comeback player of the year type of category. I would be on board for that, but definitely not Game of the Year. You don't get to release your game as trash, fix it later and then get rewarded for it. But if you released a game that was game of the year, essentially, because that's what Elden Ring was, and then you decided to, instead of, make a sequel, you release an expansion in that world, it's hell, it don't even have to be 30 hours. If it's 20 hours of amazing content plus, why should it not compete for game of the year? I don't understand. It seems like purist stuff to me. Like, oh, it shouldn't be able to compete. Based on what? How is it not fair? I mean, if somebody can logically explain to, I'll be willing to debate with somebody. In what way is it not fair? Why does you get to develop a game for 6 years? We developed the same game for 6 years, released it. Your game was trash when it came out. Our game was amazing. We decided to drop an expansion for it 2 years later. Where's the advantage? You're gonna punish us for actually releasing a good game? Nah. I absolutely positively don't have a problem with this. I don't know if Shadow of the Erdtree should win, but it absolutely deserved to be here. Did it deserve to be here over Space Marine? I actually played Space Marine 2. I don't know. While I liked Space Marine, I thought it was an interesting concept and it was amazing. I feel like Space Marine 3 would have a better a chance of competing for Game of the Year than Space Marine 2, depending on how, because I'm projecting with Elden Ring. If Elden Ring, Shadow of the Erdtree, I'm projecting if it's as good as the main game or slightly better, then for me, it's easily Game of the Year over even Black Myth Wukong for me. But I haven't played it yet. That's why I don't want to say. But if it's just, the same or a little bit worse, then, I could see Space Marine being up there. But anyway, y'all let me know what y'all think down in the comments. I'm pretty sure there's going to be people who disagree with me. That's fine. That's cool. Whatever. All right. May the grift be with you all, and I'll talk to y'all later.
Oh, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you.